You are listening to Connections, a place to learn about and celebrate creative approaches to healthcare, education, and wellness. Each week, we explore new ways that creativity can reach and connect individuals in all stages of health and wellness. Join us as our host, Bree Gordon, board-certified music therapist and managing partner with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, interviews professionals, volunteers, and community members from healthcare and educational backgrounds. If you are at home or near a computer, you can join us via live streaming video at facebook.com/connectionsbyaria. We hope you enjoy the program and find new ways to bring the joy of creativity into your life and the lives of those you love. Hello, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, board-certified music therapist here locally in Southeast Florida with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you are joining us at our new home at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. We're so excited to still have you all joining us, and Facebook Live. So if you're home safe, not in the car, check us out on Facebook Live. You'll be able to see live video there today. And not only that, there'll be archives. So if you have to step away at all and you're really enjoying the conversation, you can always check it out any other time at our Facebook page at facebook.com/connectionsbyaria. If you're joining for the first time, again, so glad you're here. Want to give you an idea of what you can expect. For 1 hour every Wednesday night, I have the great fortune of being able to share a little bit about what I love. And one of those main things that I love is any kind of creative approach to healthcare concern or education or community building. As a creative arts therapist myself, I do tend to bring on a lot of creative arts therapists, music therapists, art therapists, things like that, complementary therapies, but also anyone who's working in the field or volunteer in the field that's using an idea a little bit outside the box as a way to reach people, to connect people, to comfort people. All of these things are very exciting for me to not only learn about, but to get to share with our local community, regional, national, and even global. In fact, today we are going global because none of the guests or the hosts today, myself included, are actually from this country, which is very exciting. We're all from Ontario, Canada. So that's kind of a cool link that brings us together today. Not only that, but also our interest in supporting the aging community and supporting the aging community in creative ways. We're talking about technology today. So we've got a couple things we're going to talk about. If you are a caregiver, you're listening or watching tonight, either personally or professionally, or you have anyone in your family or your circle who's going through the aging process, I really do encourage you to stick around for the next hour or two. There's going to be a lot of valuable information, not only how we can help seniors not be afraid of technology or hesitant around it, but how it can really, really benefit them and the whole family, in fact. So please stick around, not only socially, which we're going to talk about a lot of getting seniors engaged with technology through Facebook and through Skype and things like that, but actually how it can physically help them stay in their homes longer, enhancing quality of life, increasing safety, decreasing worry for family members and loved ones. So you don't want to miss our conversation today. There's a lot of updates that I wanted to talk about today. First of all, it's Creative Arts Therapy Week here in the States, which is really exciting. We get a whole week, which is awesome. So if you are a creative arts therapist listening, kudos to you. Congratulations on having been chosen or called to, or however you want to look at it, the most amazing field in the entire world. You know, I'm a little bit biased, but I love what I do. And if you listened last week, you got a snapshot of that. We had Stephanie on, I almost said her maiden name, Stephanie Epstein, who I went to school with back in Rochester, New York, and now is working as a music therapist at Holtz Children's Hospital in Miami. We talked to her and Corey and Tom from the Ukulele Kids Club about some of the incredible things they're doing in pediatric hospitals through music therapy. So Stephanie is a practicing music therapist, and Tom and Corey have organized this nonprofit organization to donate these ukuleles to kids while they're in the hospital to, help them through their stay in this uncomfortable, unfamiliar setting. Not only that, but they get to take it home too. That they belong to them. So it's a gift to these children to kind of help them through their hospital stay, their recovery process, which is really incredible. And since that time, Corey and Tom actually have donated 10 instruments to our new program at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. So thank you guys for that so much. I wanted to just follow up with listeners and viewers from that, so that you know that the things that are being said on this show, these amazing people that I'm bringing in, it's not just lip service. These people have incredible hearts, and they mean what they say. So just in the week alone, we've got 10 instruments being delivered to the hospital to help these kids out. It's incredible. Again, thank you to the Ukulele Kids Club for all you do. There are some cool networking opportunities coming up. I spoke with a few of the ladies from Creative Mornings a few weeks ago. This is it's not a new idea. It's a global initiative that's been around for a little while, but it's new to our area in Palm Beach. This networking / presentation event that's happening once a month. This month, it is going to be in West Palm Beach at the Palm Beach Tech Space at 8:30 in the morning. If you listen to my previous interview on this, you know that I made quite a big deal about how early 8:30 in the morning on a Friday feels. But I did get up. I did go to the last one. I felt good about it, and it was great. I'm so glad I did. There's about 100 different professionals in the room, all different areas that all identify as being creative. And their motto there is everybody's creative. Just like I try to share with my clients that everybody's musical, everybody's rhythmic. It doesn't pertain to a small amount of people. Just by being human, by subscribing to this human race that we all do, we have the ability to be creative. And so this group really kind of helps ignite that creativity, and it's something that we all need within whatever field we're in to stay relevant, to stay inspired, to stay excited, is a little bit of that creativity. So the next Creative Mornings Palm Beach is this coming Friday, St. Patty's Day, 8:30 in the morning, downtown West Palm at Palm Beach Tech Space. Rafael Clemente, who is the director of Downtown Authority for West Palm Beach, is going to be speaking. If you don't know Rafael, you've never heard him talk before, you want to check it out. He's got amazing ideas for the downtown area in West Palm, Clematis Street, and all these great, exciting things that are going on. So he's going to be speaking at that event. Florida legislative session has started in the past week, which is very exciting. Again, I cannot stress enough, if there is something that you are particularly interested in, passionate about, pertains to you on a professional or personal level, follow up on it. It's so crucial. And it's so easy to do. We've talked about this a lot, this idea of, well, why would they listen to me? I'm just one person. I'm not a big name. I don't have a big army behind me. Our senators, our representatives are there on behalf of us. We actually kind of employ them. They're there to represent us. If you're a constituent, they want to hear from you. Just a real quick snapshot from my little corner of the world, our little music therapy bill that's kind of starting its way through all these meetings and hearings and all of that. We had our first hearing last week, and it passed unanimously. And one thing that they said was, wow, we were blown away by how many emails and phone calls we got from people interested in this bill. And I'm sure for many, it maybe was the first time they've even heard of music therapy. So how cool is that? And that's a bunch of music therapists and our loved ones and our colleagues that are sitting at home and literally took me 2-3 minutes to send this email. So it makes a difference. In other words, we're one of 7 of these hearings to go through, and it can make a huge impact on our entire field for the state of Florida. Okay, it is also St. Patrick's Day this week, so as always, I always want to offer a little bit of a musical element, because obviously that's where I get my creative energy from. So if you are, again, speaking to anyone who's working with seniors or living with seniors or caring for someone going through the aging process, and you're looking for a new creative way to engage with them, might I suggest music is an excellent way to bond intergenerationally. We're going to talk a lot about the intergenerational connection today, and especially if you're using music from their era. Remember, our strongest musical memories are those that are stored from our late 20s to our early 30s, so kind of early in life. This is I actually don't know how old this song is, but it's quite a traditional Irish song. As a lot of the Irish songs, When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, My Wild Irish Rose, these are all great ways to celebrate the holiday and also kind of connect with the older individuals in your life and in your family. But this is a favorite of mine that I like to use, and also was a favorite of my great Aunt Molly. So this is in memory of Aunt Molly. I'm going to share with you, Oh Danny Boy. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh Danny boy, the pipes are calling, from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses dying. 'Tis you, must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh Danny boy, I love you so. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh Danny boy, I love you so. A little music to help us get into the Irish spirit. Remember, everybody is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. I know I'm going to celebrate my quarter Irishness this Friday, and I wish you all the same for a safe and happy holiday. Stick around. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back and introduce my first guest today from a local brand new company using technology to help bridge that generational gap and help our seniors for Wellness Link. Stick around right after this quick break.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce ARIA. ARIA is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, ARIA is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, and I am here with not new to me, the team from Wellness Link. I'm so glad you guys are here. Chrissy and Dave, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Absolutely, my pleasure. So I just wanted to start out by, kind of taking it back to the beginning where it all started in Ontario, Canada, where all the great things. I mean, every American listening now is just all they're hearing is poutine, hockey, igloo, all the stereotypes.
Take off, eh?
Take off it.
Yeah,
Exactly. They're watching Strange Brew. They've turned off us. Exactly. But we know some great things come out of Ontario, Canada, and that's, our whole guest today, even calling in later. So exciting. So if you guys don't mind just sharing your background a little bit, and how you kind of got involved with technology and using it in this community.
I married into the business in '85, and my father-in-law had his own security company, alarm company. We did home alarms and home automation even back then, and it's progressed to a point now where I felt comfortable enough to the technology advanced that the personal emergency response system for the elderly, the technology just makes it really effective, and I felt comfortable enough that it was better than just the help I'm falling, I can't get up, which is only about 25% effective, and our system kind of covers the rest of that.
Anything you want to add to that, Chrissy? How you kind of got involved with it?
I think, as David was saying, technology has filtered its way into everything in life. And when he came across the products that we could use that were better than the typical fall pendants, he took advantage and did research and learned all about it and found out that this system can do so much more for seniors in the aging in place.
And is that the only other option is that like the Life Alert button that you're referring to?
That's it. It's called the PERS, Personal Emergency Response System. And a lot of people, they don't wear it, or if they were to have a stroke, they don't push the button. The batteries are down. My father would never wear anything. He's too proud.
Yeah.
My mother would rather lay on the floor till someone found her than make a big stink. So our system is the only system where they don't have to do anything to raise an alert. And because it tracks the normal patterns of their daily life. For example, we have a sensory transmitter on the fridge door that if it's not opened at, let's say, 9 o'clock every morning, something might be up from the normal routine. Or you can do it the opposite way. If the caregivers or the kids or the spouse just wants the warm fuzzy that mom's up and about, there's the Canadian word about.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you for throwing that in there.
They would get a text message that the fridge door just opened. So then, okay, she's up and around.
That's great. And I want to get into like all the specifics because those are just, a few examples of how, many nuances there are. But just to reiterate your point, because I think that's so important, is, my gram, who is likely watching tonight and because of technology is able to see me every week, right? Which is so cool. And being 1,500 miles away, she's 95, still working, still fairly independent, but, around somewhere between, 90 and 95, I had this conversation with her about the button. And we had to put it on a gold chain, right? Because I thought, this is going to help. You can tuck the gold chain in. And it did for, I would say, a few hours. And then I never saw it on her again. So, this is, you're so right. I mean, we are not the only three people, I'm sure, who have come across this before in caring for loved ones who are very independent. This is not, and even at different levels of independence, who wants to be told what they have to wear and when they have to do it? I mean, control and choice making is so important. So this kind of takes that awkwardness or that removal of, of taking that choice away, that takes it out of the equation, which is pretty cool. So, I would love for you to talk about what are all the different ways that this product can kind of be assimilated into the home.
For example, we put motion detectors.
Okay.
We can do a bed sensor, so we know when they're in and out of bed. We can create a rule. For example, if the bed sensors usually close from 11 p.m. when they go to bed to 6 a.m. in the morning, if the bed sensor opens up, meaning they got out of bed to go to the bathroom, but it doesn't close again within a certain time period, just say 10, 15 minutes, maybe they're down. But if they were to wander into the living room or open the fridge door, it's not going to generate that alert because they're up and about, they're moving around.
Right.
So it tracks their normal activities. For example, it's all charted and graphed, and you can pull up a specific room and you can see how many times the fridge door was opened or the bed sensor was opened. You can analyze the data to realize that maybe they've gone to the bathroom 8 times that night. They might have a UTI, for example. So you can use all that information, and it creates a pattern of normal activity in the house, and then it will cause an alert. And as the cyber seniors are all learning how to use their smartphone, well, they would, if they are the caregiver for their spouse, they would receive a text message and an alert. So it's really, really great for caregiver support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you want to add to that, Chris?
I just wanted to sort of encapsulate everything. Sure. The technology itself is a sensory communication technology, which provides a link of connectivity, which is so important.
Sure.
So that someone else knows what's going on in real time. That's the key to the whole technology itself.
That's awesome. So it's speaking to each other. So you mentioned that these kind of patterns are set. Are these things that are set up by either the family or the client themselves? Maybe if they're able to be involved in that as well.
Exactly.
Okay, and then as the patterns continue, does that affect how? Like, in other words, you were mentioning how many times they would go to the bathroom in the evening. Would that just be an alert on its own because of the frequency of it, or would it be okay? We know that this many times is average, or
if you were to analyze the data, check the daily activity, you could see if they weren't eating, the fridge door wasn't being opened. The system also, you can add cameras to the system, thermostat control, you can do smoke detectors. It's a whole life safety. It's even a burglar alarm. If someone's has wandering issues, if a door is opened at a certain time after hours, well, that just raises an alert.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all the support people, could be the neighbor, they would get the text and they can peek out and make sure that they're not wandering off.
It learns the individual patterns and routines of the individual themselves. So everybody is different. That's why the system is so wonderful, because it's totally customizable for everyone and their particular needs.
Yeah.
So if their normal routine is deviated somewhat, you might think something's up or different, or it might indicate a decline in health or ability because it's different from what they normally do.
Yeah, it's used also to help tell people, like, look, you've missed your medicine like 3 out of 4 days. Maybe it's time, you might need someone to come in once a day for a couple hours. Or it proves that no, they're doing great. They don't have to go to the
right. That's the
assisted
other
living.
side of it too. The peace of mind, right?
Yep.
I've talked to you guys about my involvement with the Area Agency on Aging, and we've recently rebranded to the Aging and Disability Resource Center, because we know that with individuals staying healthier longer and living longer, that oftentimes our seniors are caring for their children and maybe even grandchildren in the home. So, my question to you guys is, if you have a senior who is actually the caregiver, you mentioned a little bit about it earlier, and so not only are they caring, the kind of a reverse order, caring for their younger generations, but now technology is introduced in this way. How do you kind of ease that transition? Is there someone who can train them to be able to respond to these text alerts or computer alerts that they might get from the sensors?
They will have to, even if they didn't have like a smartphone that could receive a text or an email, you can have the central station call them on alerts as well.
Okay.
They could just get a regular phone call. Like my dad has a flip phone.
Right.
So,
and my gram too, yeah.
He's 86, but at least he carries it with.
Yeah.
Or the best part is, the text messages can go to as many support people as there are. Like my mom just had a stroke on New Year's Eve. I put a system in for her 3 weeks ago in Toronto.
Okay.
But her support group are my 2 brothers, sister, all their kids.
Yeah.
So the message goes out to almost 15 people if there was an emergency, and someone's going to be close by, or someone will call my dad and say, "Hey, you better head home. That mom just fell or whatever."
That's great. So it's not like a limit to how many people can be.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Wonderful. And my other question before we go to a commercial break is, obviously you can see the value of this being in the home, especially we're talking about South Florida, where so many seniors are living here and their families are so far away because they have moved here from up north or wherever. It's invaluable. And that's obviously, our goal, so many of us working in this community, to keep people home as long as possible in their own familiar space. But I can see, having worked in roughly 1 million different skilled nursing facilities and assisted living facilities and independent living, how valuable this would be to staff. I mean, is this product existing in any kind of facility as well?
Yeah, it's really good for updating the older facilities. It's very inexpensive to update. You could do a bed sensor, a door sensor, and a fall sensor, and you would really enhance.
Totally.
And then it would go to the nurse on call or at the front desk. She would know if somebody left their room after hours.
Right.
That causes an alert before they get out of the building.
We had an example of that just recently. We were at a convention center in Riviera Beach, a caregiving convention, and we spoke to one lady who actually lives in an assisted living facility, and she fell, but no staff member found her for over an hour. So it would bring an awareness to the staff members so that they can get to their residents. So it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. That's huge. And then I'm thinking of, too, the system that I see so many times with the magnet, right? And as soon as the magnet's pulled away, the alarm goes off.
Yep.
How scary is that alarm? Right? So now you've maybe fallen or you're wandering. Obviously, there's an element of confusion going on. And then that sound goes off. And obviously it's meant to bring someone in and for a safety precaution, but it's agitating in itself, so that kind of removes that as well.
Yeah. So
Even if it's not set with an alarm to go off, at least a message is going somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
So that people can react immediately. Because if a person is down and they're reached quickly, it can make an awful lot of difference between time lost, before they're found.
Absolutely.
So for assisted living facilities, it will help them to improve quality of care as well.
For sure. And you were going to say, Dave?
Yep. And like the nurse on call could be in front of a monitor and she'd be receiving a text or an email, specific room, what happened. She can page the on-call nurse, take a peek. You can cut down on costs for the facility.
I imagine.
Yeah. So
reduce stay if you're reducing falls, the logistics of it all is, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could go on for hours about this alone and just how valuable it is. And like I said, I've worked in so many facilities over the last 10 years. I'm thinking of people and places, and it's just what a tool. What an exciting tool. I'm so glad you guys are here in this area and sharing this message. And you can hang around, right, the rest of the show?
Yep, for sure.
Awesome. So stick around. We're going to have a quick commercial break. We're going to bring in our caller who is representing Cyber Seniors Documentary. And we're going to talk to some of the social benefits of integrating technology into the life of our aging community. Stick around. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I am sitting here with the team from Wellness Link. Dave and Chrissy, thank you guys again so much for being here. We are waiting on our caller in tonight from Cyber Seniors documentary. Let me just prep that a little bit while we're waiting for her to call in, and we'll continue our conversation. Don't go still. No? Okay, cool. So anyways, this documentary, I've been kind of watching this for the last few years. Really, really got excited to see. First of all, if you are listening for the first time, you don't know how nerdy I am about a lot of these things. In particular, intergenerational connection. Being raised in a multi-generational home, I was raised by both my mom and my grandma. I didn't realize that so many kids don't grow up with that kind of relationship and maybe don't have that level of comfortability when it comes to watching someone go through the aging process. So when I heard about this documentary, which is available on Netflix, which is how I watched it, and that's how you found it also,
Yep,
Chrissy?
same thing.
Yeah. So it was an idea sparked by a high schooler, right? Mm-hmm. And she got together some of her friends or classmates from school to go into the local, I believe it was either assisted living or independent living facilities outside of Toronto.
True.
And to teach them technology. She taught them Facebook, Skype, so they could connect with family all over the world. They, not only that, but this is a way that I use it also in my work too, is YouTube is such a cool tool to use with, everybody loves YouTube, but when I get to show someone, live or clips are recorded from Glenn Miller Orchestra and, all these different things, like I can't reproduce that. 95% of what I do is live in my sessions, but there's no way if you what you're craving is the memories and the experience of a big band, a girl with a guitar is not going to be able to bring that to you, right? So it's so cool to connect these seniors with YouTube, and they can type in whatever you want. Not only were they watching YouTube, but they started to make their own YouTube videos. They made cooking classes and how to talk to boys, and one was like rapping, and she was like 93 years old, and she wrote her own rap about how she had her own teeth. Awesome. And then they had a ceremony to see who made the best YouTube video, who got the most likes and comments, and they voted on it, and it was awesome. And that room was filled with probably over 100 people who were just like excited to see like how positive technology and learning something new, that almost all of them in the beginning said, I'm too old, I don't want to learn it. They kind of shrugged it off. I think that, they seemed to like the idea of the high schoolers coming in and visiting and sharing stories, but it was like, can we just do that and not necessarily have to find how to open my email and things like that, So the end result of that was not only the tangible product that they had made with their YouTube video, but they were connecting with all of the other seniors in the other facilities. They were Facebook friends. They were messaging each other and got to meet them in person. So it took an online connection and brought it to in person, which obviously would be more comfortable in their era, a handshake and eye contact more than a friend request on Facebook. So it's really, really cool to see that. I hope that Tess calls in, but until then, we'll keep talking about our conversation. And what I wanted to ask you guys in the beginning when we started talking too is, why do you think particularly the aging community, this is such an important advancement in this area? Why do you think, obviously you said technology, it permeates everything, but why could this population benefit from this?
Well, as the population grows, the facilities aren't growing fast enough. So a lot of people won't have a place to go. But if people can stay at home a little longer, people seem to be happier at home, they're more comfortable at home, and it's cost effective. It's a lot less expensive for them to stay at home a little longer.
Sure.
So that's one of the big reasons. And just the costs, compared if someone is going to have to pay for assisted living versus staying at home.
Yeah.
And then even our system, because it is a home improvement, it is covered by long-term care insurance. So.
Right. Oh, yes, the time for our plug. So we know each other. All right, it's time for your plug, hon. Through my boyfriend, Jeff. He loves when I, call him out for that. And so we will give you a plug. Thank you for bringing this connection together, and hammer home that point one more time, Dave.
Because our system is a home improvement, it is covered if you have long-term care.
Long-term care. So seek out your local friendly long-term care insurance representative.
And another really big reason, because all the boomers are getting to the age, everyone's living longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the money, unfortunately, is not going to be there for everybody.
Right.
So again, it's another solution.
Yeah, and along those same lines, we were all at this meeting on Friday. We got a legislative update, not only locally in Florida, but nationally. And the trend everywhere is always, where can we cut costs? And one of the biggest areas that we might see, if we're not active in our advocating, is the costs that go towards promoting these home-based services. This is, through the Agency on Aging, things like that come from the Older Americans Act. We're receiving so much funding to support these Meals on Wheels programs, adult daycare, respite care, all of these things. But if the funding is not there, these programs, like you're talking, these products that you're talking about, it's almost like you can't afford to not have them involved.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think now in Canada, it's almost, because the Canadian government pays for the medical and health care.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, what are they going to do? $39.95 a month?
Yeah.
Or $4,000 a month? There's no, the choice is pretty obvious what they're going to pick.
Right, yeah.
And while we're talking about governmental things,
Sure.
Let it be known that word of this technology has actually reached the U.S. Senate and Committee on Aging. And there's a testimonial by one of the members who has actually used the technology for his own mom
Oh, wow.
and his mother-in-law.
Very cool. So is this technology that you all developed, or you're okay?
No. Alarm.com. I'm a dealer for Alarm.com.
Okay.
It started off probably 10 years ago as a home automation. So make the rules. You turn off your alarm. Your air goes to a certain temperature. Well, they started a wellness division.
Okay.
So it's been around for probably 5 years now.
Okay.
The wellness part of it. So it's basically, they've taken the technology of the texts and the, like when Johnny turns the alarm off, you get a text or a picture of him.
Right.
That's the home automation part of it. So they've just added on for a wellness, because they can see that this market is going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the need for it.
That's awesome. All right, and so thank you guys for explaining that a little further, and we're going to circle back to that in a minute. Tess, are you with us?
I am.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much for your persistence.
Of course. I found another number to call into. I guess it was just maybe trying to call from Canada into a toll-free number in the States. Maybe that was the issue.
This is what I get for trying to have all my Canadian guests on today. You know what? And I'm so excited about it. I don't know if you had a chance to listen in earlier, Tess, but if you heard, myself and both Chrissy and Dave, we're all from Ontario outside of Toronto, so we're all really excited to have you calling in today.
Oh, love it. It's the whole gang.
But we are not
representing.
Jealous at all of your weather.
No, we've had a huge amount of snow. I'm actually in the Niagara region for the last few days, and it's just been snowed in.
Yeah. Growing up in Rochester and Buffalo area, I've been seeing all the pictures and all of that. It's just yikes. Well, we're sending warm thoughts your way. It got down to 45 last night, so we're freezing here in South Florida.
I'd kill for that.
I'm sure you feel real bad for us, right? So we did get a few minutes to kind of just chat a little bit of background about the movie, which Christy and I got an awesome fortune of watching off Netflix this week, but you will certainly do it much better than us. So if you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of background, what inspired the film, and what are some of the benefits that you observed through the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So the film was actually created, it kind of started off as just a local Toronto project by two sisters who, after teaching their grandparents, who lived a few hours south of Toronto, how to get online and how to use Skype, and saw what joy it brought to them in terms of being able to stay connected while, kind of long distance and not being able to visit all that often. And before they knew it, their grandparents were on Facebook and following them, So, they thought, well, this is so great for them. Why don't we need to get community service hours in order to graduate high school. I think for many jurisdictions, that's the same.
Sure.
So they thought, well, why don't we, kind of pull our peers together and pitch this idea to our teacher and see if we can, rally some youth and go over and volunteer at a local retirement home and teach them how to kind of get a line and how to adopt this new technology wave. So the teacher thought it was a great idea. The sisters, their mother is semi-retired, and she thought, well, I'll help with doing some of the lesson plans. We can kind of get this going. And then the eldest sister, who was an aspiring filmmaker, decided to shoot some reel for them, just in terms of promotion. But then saw some characters kind of come to the surface, saw a storyline emerge, and thought, well, do you know what? I think this would be a really great topic for a documentary film. I think people would really enjoy it, and it's just super relatable. And so she pitched it to their semi-retired mother, who thought, let's do this. Let's produce a film together. So it was very much a family affair. And so Brenda Rusnak, who is the mother and the producer, and the eldest sister, Saffron Cassidy, who directed the film. But yeah, so then, they created the film without kind of thinking too much in advance of what the response would be. And to their surprise, it started to theatrically release, and they just kept getting inundated with people going, hey, I want to bring this program to my community, or how can I get involved? This is so great. So from there, it then kickstarted into a national campaign, and then a North American-wide campaign, and now it's a registered nonprofit up here in Canada, but we work globally in about 7 different countries, and we've got over 2,000 community groups happening,
oh my gosh.
Across the world right now. So it's going strong, and just the momentum kind of continues to build, and you do definitely see the need and the benefit from having this type of intergenerational training specifically.
That's wonderful. Do you have, and congrats to all of you on this project. It's incredible. I mean, our area is starved for something like this. Do you have any programs in the South Florida area?
We did. I know we had come down and worked with a group down in the Delray area.
Okay. Well, we're just about 20 minutes from Delray right now.
Not too far from Boca. So, and I know that we had been working with a community center down there, and I'm ashamed to say it was a few years ago, so I'm not really sure if it was still up and running, but I know that we always get a lot of interest down there, and I know that there's definitely some programs happening over in the Orlando area at the moment as well. So,
awesome.
I mean, it continues to grow, and what it takes is just, someone who's really interested in that champion in the community to go, hey, I really want to get this started. How do I pitch this, and how can I connect everyone to get some things moving? So we always say, if you're interested, visit our website, get a screening, because that's how we kind of, position our program is, host a screening event, host a film, invite the community out, generate that enthusiasm and that awareness around it. And then from there, you can really see some numbers of people who might be interested in participating, and then you can kind of pull the pieces together with the certain key players in your community, and we can absolutely help you along the way.
I love it. I'm thinking of community grant PFA ideas here with this, right? Well, this is I think we have the right professionals in our community to have the enthusiasm to bring something like this together. Tess, can you hang around? We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Can you stick around with us?
Of course. Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Beautiful. When we come back from the break, I want to give Wellness Link and Tess, US Cyber Seniors, an opportunity to tell our audience how people can get in touch with you guys, get engaged with some of the things you're doing. Stick around. We'll take a quick break.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce ARIA. ARIA is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, ARIA is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I have with me in studio today from Wellness Link, Christy and Dave. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And Tess, are you still with us?
I am.
Wonderful. And Tess, Communications Director and Director of Programs with the Cyber Seniors Documentary. So before I give everybody a chance to kind of plug what you're doing in the community, all the awesome work you're doing, how people can get engaged, I have to say there were so many things that I loved about the movie, Tess. I was literally like vacillating between crying and laughing the entire time. I don't know what was going on with me. It was just like, I was so excited to see like kids that were so into this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
absolutely.
For me, when I went into college and I couldn't wait to start working in my geriatric populations, I did not have to fight for that because no one else in my class wanted that. Everyone was afraid or it was unfamiliar, I should say. So to see people from a young age not only being comfortable with it, but really like looking forward to it and fostering these relationships was so, so exciting to me. But what I love was when I first got my first like real big girl job, I remember someone saying to me, don't post anything on Facebook that you wouldn't show your grandmother, right?
Yeah.
That came to a whole new level in this movie as I loved watching the one woman and she's on her grandkids' Facebook. She's like,
Annette, she's going, oh no.
This is my grandson.
I can't believe you're posting that.
Yeah. Does he know this? The world can see this? I love that. I was like, yep, so glad I got that piece of advice when I was young. Post it like your grandma's watching because she could be living where there's a cyber seniors program and now she knows what you're doing on Friday night. That was awesome.
So true.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Please, if you have not watched this, Netflix, how else can people find it, Chrissy, Tess, sorry.
No problem. Yeah, on Netflix it is streaming on there throughout the U.S. Only, unfortunately, but fortunate for everyone in the U.S. You can also visit our website if you're looking to do a public screening event of any kind, or perhaps order a DVD for your home. It's a really, really great family film, like you were saying, Bree, and it really just touches and resonates with every age group. So it's great for schools and libraries as well. But you can visit our website, the shop section on our site, as well as you can order it off of Amazon.com, as well as Google Play and Vudu.
Very cool. And, while we're talking about this, I love the synergy between it being, something tangible. It's the film that you can watch, but and you can even organize a community event around it. But then it goes a step further in encouraging people to set up these types of programs in their community. So if someone's watching or listening tonight, Tess, and that's something they're interested in, maybe they work in a facility or they want to be that champion from a caregiver perspective, who do they talk to about that? I'm guessing you.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to contact me. You can visit our site, www.cyberseniors.documentary.com.
Okay.
And on there, you'll have under contact, it'll list myself and my contact information there. So feel free to reach out to me. But I'm happy to share my email. It's my first name, Tess, TESS, @cyber-seniors.ca.
Okay, very cool. And you guys, I know that I'm thinking of a million opportunities for this, as we're talking about it. So someone's got to be listening, tonight that either they're dealing with this as a personal caregiver or someone working in our community. How can they get in touch with you and learn more about your products?
Well, they can either go to the website, which is www.wellnesslink.com.
That only took me like 5 times to find, by the way. I spelled it every other way, but yeah, that's important. LINC.
Yeah, wellnesslink, all one word, .com, or they can reach either myself, Chrissy, CHRISSY, @wellnesslink.com, or David, at wellnesslink.com. Or if local, they can reach us at 561-744-5453.
Yeah, we're in Jupiter. We're a family-owned business. Been in business for over 30 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful. And what can someone expect for, like anything, for any caregiver that's kind of exploring something new? We know this is a challenging time. The more that we can know what to expect, the better. So what does that first kind of initial visit look like?
Yeah, we just visit them and just ask them what their concerns are. We assess the house for safety issues as well.
Okay.
We customize every system, and if depending on if they have wandering issues, falling issues, forgetful issues, a combination of anything, we can customize the system to suit their needs.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yep.
Tess, I wanted to ask you in our last couple minutes here, if someone is watching, listening tonight, this information is really valuable to them, but maybe they just, because of their position as a caregiver, aren't able to really do a community approach. But what is something they can do in the home to encourage their loved ones to get involved in technology? What are some outlets that you all recommend as a way to kind of introduce this idea and get them started?
Sure. First of all, I think it goes with patience with anything. When teaching someone something new, patience and just being engaged is where we like to start off with when we're training our youth specifically, just to be engaged in something. But a really great resource that I always love to plug, and just because it's a website that has tutorials specifically designed for seniors on like every application you can think of, every website you can think of, every tool. It's so great, and it's called. Oh man, I think I just had a brain freeze. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, it's called Tech Boomers. Apologies.
I was going to say, you could Google it.
I know. Tech Boomers. So TECH, Boomers, BOOMERS, techboomers.com. This man has just set up like everything. I even use it to go and check out if I'm looking at a new online tool that I'm not really sure how to use.
Oh, cool.
But he has really just like outlined these tutorials so beautifully, and there's some videos and some other things that are more just written out, examples. But I definitely encourage everyone to take a look, because I think that it's just a really nice starting off point to just kind of delve into anything specific you're looking to get into.
Have you guys ever heard of that? Techboomers.com?
No, I haven't.
No.
I wonder if there's a Tech Boomers tutorial video for how to use your program. That might be kind of a cool way to tie that in there. That's awesome. And I like how you mentioned, Tess, about, even just starting with the basics of just preparing even the teenagers of just be patient, and here's what to expect going in the situation. And I know we've talked about how lucky we all feel to be in this field and to do what we love and to help this community. What do you all observe, Tess, or have you observed through this process of the benefits that the young people are getting? We're talking about the benefits the seniors are getting, obviously, from social perspectives and connecting and reduced isolation. But how are the teens benefiting?
Yeah, absolutely. On top of getting some really great community service hours, from going through our 8-week kind of training, which happens usually once a week over the course of 8 to 10 weeks. But what the youth are really getting is, just feeling like they're an expert in something, I think is a really empowering position to be in. Mm-hmm. And it really helps them to go, oh, this is something that's so innate to me. I've grown up in this. You take it for granted, the skills that you have.
Right.
And I think that, just being in a position where, they have a skill that's valued, really helps them to feel empowered to be a leader, to take initiative in their community. And then going through the process of, getting to hang out with, some older seniors, some older adults, learning something new, getting some advice, hearing some really great stories. I think that face-to-face connection really plays into, on both generations, dispelling ageism, dispelling those stereotypes, that are around for each generation. And I think it really just brings a whole new perspective into the mix.
Oh, I love that so much. I was such a fan of the kids in this movie. I mean, I can't tell you. I'm like, literally I want their autograph. Like, I was like fangirling over them. I mean, they just were so patient, and the way they explained things was just so succinct and so kind. I loved it. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you, Tess, and all that you represent with the film is so exciting. Thank you, Christine Day, for being in the studio here today.
Thank you.
And best of luck as you're growing in this area, and you have so much to offer, and your product has so much value, and it's just, you're in the right place. You're in the right place to help the right people. So to everyone, I so appreciate your time. Thank you for those listening and viewing. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful week. Yeah. Here we go. Thank you for listening to Connection. We hope you enjoyed today's program and discover new ways to bring creativity into your home or place of work. If you have any questions for our host Bree or today's guest, please email them at bree@pbmti.com or call at 561-747-9944. Thank you for sharing the music with us.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or